The new year has hit. We are halfway through January, and you're probably wondering to yourself, why am I already failing at achieving my goals? And how do I get the willpower to stick to it? You won't. You can't. Well, maybe. I'm going to show you exactly why. Get ready to grab your personal human design chart because I'm going to show you where to look in your chart to understand how you can crack your personal code for taking action, sustaining momentum, and finally learn how to tap into your willpower to make 2025 your year. Let's get into it. And stick around because later in this video, I'm actually going to share the secret as to why this season is the absolute worst for achieving big goals. Okay, ready? So if you've never heard about human design, have no fear. I want you to go check out this video right here, but you don't need to understand human design really to extract the nugget from this video. Go to renewliving.com/free chart. The link is right here in the description below as well. Great. You have your chart. I want you to understand one thing. This sudden slump or this inconsistency or this lack of drive isn't laziness, isn't because you suck, isn't because you're doomed to fail or whatever negative self-talk gets activated at the beginning of the year for yourself, especially when you fall short. I like to say it's a cosmic wake-up call and whispering to you that your approach actually doesn't match your natural energy. And you need to do everything in alignment with your natural energy in order for you to feel supported in alignment or ever find momentum. The first place we're going to look in your energetic blueprint is directly at your heart center, aka the will center, aka ego center. I might use these words interchangeably, so now you know. You want to look here if you're trying to crack the code on how do I approach taking action, or how do I approach drive? How do I approach motivation or this idea of consistency when it comes to achieving or materializing success and actualizing your vision for 2025? This is a layered and nuanced approach, but the entry point of this conversation is we're going to look here. Okay, I'm going to walk you through my chart and break down what this means. So let's pop over to the screen one second. Okay, looking at your chart, lots of information happening. I know that, but I want you to drown it out and focus in specifically on the heart center, which is located right here. And you need to notice, is it colored in or is it white? If the heart center is colored in, then you have a defined heart center, will center, and or ego center. Remember, interchangeable names. And if it's white, that's going to be called an undefined and or open heart center. It's undefined if there are active gates, active hanging gates, and it's open if there's no gate activation. So just a little caveat there for you. And the core themes of this center is all about willpower, self-esteem, material drive like money and resources. So the defined will center, that's 30% of people. If that's you, listen up. You have consistent access to your willpower. You carry a steady inner reservoir for that drive. You have a strong sense of self-worth, and that does not mean that if you have an open or undefined will center, you don't have a strong sense of self. Just note that. It's just that there is a consistent experience and expression with defined folks. They often know their worth and can commit to goals with a certain push drive energy, if you know what I mean. Perhaps as an undefined will, you're like, oh yeah, the energy that I try to tap into all the time and then can't sustain. Yeah, we're going to get to that. But like all motor and power as human beings with that defined will center, if you have that, you also need rest cycles to avoid burnout. The will center really requires a lot of rest after a big push. So if you're sitting here listening and you're like, hi, I have a defined will, Sidney, but I'm burnt out and I'm not hitting my goals and I've lost steam, that's a big indicator that you need to rest. You are still in your rest cycle and it's not time, because you will know. The way that you approach your goals as a defined will is you might have that consistent steam and a consistent energy and momentum to drive the goal forward, but it works in short, intense bursts. Think of it literally like sprint. That's all will. But the only thing you have to remember when you are in that sprint to that goal is that you need to pause and you need to rest and you need build and breaks so that you can recharge, because overcommitting can lead to serious exhaustion if you never allow downtime and only constantly live in that drive state. Which my defined wills listening, if you find that currently right now you're taking inventory, you're like, yeah, I don't have the energy. I like mapped out all these goals and it's just like, oh, feels like, oh, that's part of the equation right there. There's some energy reworking that we need to do in that center. But as you see, your design is so dynamic. So there's so much to it. If you are curious on how to get get more nuanced in understanding what's going on in your energy, you can always grab a reading with me, and that's in the description below. But moving on to our undefined will centers and open heart centers, guess what? That's 70% of people. Just think about this. The way that our society focuses on pushing and achieving and hustling, that's really built from a defined will space, assuming that everybody has that drive. But the truth is more than half do not, which is why so many people struggle with self-worth and the question of, am I enough? Am I doing enough? And they always equate their worthiness to what they are doing. Tap like if that's you, because I know that that has been one of my biggest struggles in reworking, is that when it comes to my worthiness, especially as a generator, because I have a lot of energy, I have to rework this idea of I have to produce, I have to be productive, I have to achieve in order to feel successful and worthy. And the truth is I'm worthy just because I am. You are worthy just because you are. Recognize that there's nothing wrong with you. There's wrong with the standards that we are setting, and the approaches to the work, to our lifestyle is what is oriented and causing a lot of dysregulation for ourselves. You're right on time. You're not behind. You did not fail. Perhaps there's a lesson here in this undefined will. The first part to understanding in terms of achieving or manifesting and actualizing your goals really comes down to understanding that you're forcing yourself to do it in a way that doesn't work for you. Your energetic mechanics are meant to be the unique expression that it is. And so you really need to honor the way that it works so you can feel expansive and embody the version of yourself that is able to receive the goals and the vision that you're working toward. Your approach and your strategy always needs to be rooted in your design first and foremost. Remember when I said that I'll let you in on the secret as to why this is not the season for building big goals? It's because we are in the dead of winter. The days are short, the nights are long, and your spirit and energy naturally wants to turn in. It's nature is resting. Animals are hibernating. There's no petals or leaves on any plants and trees. Winter is typically a time for slowing down, resting, reflecting. It's a big pause. And it's the time that we let our inner self generate. So why, if that is what's happening outside of nature and you're feeling that naturally within, would you also push yourself aggressively in a rigid way? It doesn't make sense. It's counterintuitive. It's why you feel like you're going upstream. I'm going to leave this piece of going in deeper into what winter spans through Capricorn season, Aquarius season, and Pisces, so you can understand what you're actually supposed to cultivate here, how you're supposed to structure your goals, how you're supposed to structure your approach so that you're set up for the real momentum that happens in the spring. It's not a random zodiac lineup. It's a story arc built in nature for a reason. It feels so freeing to just lean into the naturalness. And that's how you support yourself and have momentum, have the universe and energy supporting you in your approach, in your goals. In the next video, I'm going to help you understand how to approach your goals in this season and how to work on what I call a wellness trine that helps you understand how to elevate and build intention that supports your body, your mind, and your spirit. And we're going to find that, guess what, in your energetic blueprint with astrology and human design. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and hit the bell so you're notified when the next video drops. Love ya, and I'll see you in the next one.